everybody. Hey. So this is Sipping with Siblings, our deluxe edition. And normally we kind of just introduce ourselves. So we're going to start on this side and then we're going to go around, okay? All right, so I'm Tiffany and I'm Tonisha.
TW.
ED.
You know what? Emergency department. Emergency department. Like, they don't know.
What, should I say Pee Wee or Eddie?
What
You
is
said
too
both
late
already.
now?
Both.
You know,
Pee
you know
Wee
who
and
it
Eddie.
is. All right, and
And I am Samak. How you doing?
how y'all doing? So today we have our deluxe edition, and we named it "Real Answers from Real Men." The reason we named it this is just because we took to Facebook, we took to a couple groups, and asked some questions that we would like to know from men. Now, that's not to say that there's half of men out there, but there are some that are on a little bit of different tiers. So, where y'all want to start? I got questions for y'all though. Tiff, I'm gonna give you one of these too, so that you can ask some of the questions. Cause me and Tiff,
Hey.
How many questions you got?
we got a few, but you know, this might be a part two because sometimes y'all be long-winded.
Yeah.
And you know, the women said that they really wanted some of these questions answered. So, having said that, I wanted to start off with like, what is the principle? Like, I'm gonna ask you, just first, what is a foundational principle for you?
The biggest foundational principle for me is the Bible, God.
Okay,
Most High.
got you.
That's where I get everything from. That's where I get all my knowledge,
Talk about
intellect.
trying to be sexy.
Shut your face. And that's where I get all my knowledge, intellect, wisdom, and expectations from.
Okay.
So that's me.
All right. So, Pee Wee, you want me to call you Pee Wee?
Is it safe to say that I just feel the same way?
You agree with the
Yeah.
Bible, God, foundational principles?
Yeah, I would say that's number one for me too. Anyways.
Okay. And TW, I don't even know how to call him that. Okay.
What's foundational for me is just truth. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. That's
Gotcha.
my whole thing.
Okay. All right. So here's the thing.
Now, let me preface a little bit.
Oh,
okay?
see, I know it's coming.
Now, there's a lot of the reason why we're doing this is because there's a lot of what we call regular men and women out there, right?
Yes.
They're just regular. They kind of go with the flow, go
Yeah.
with what society says do.
Okay.
But then you still have like a remnant of guys who still have either super traditional, moderately traditional, or sort of metaphysical universal truth going on. And we're definitely not normal. So I just wanted to say that. And I think that's why
Yeah,
questions need to be answered, because when you encounter gentlemen like ourselves, you might find that we think differently.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was going to say. Just to say is the reason I took to this and I wanted to bring it to my group is because my group foundationally is for super masculine men. Because there's a lot of men that are multi-dimensional, I'll say. They operate in a very neutral energy, meaning they go back and forth. And this group, pause. This group,
Hey, yo, wow,
That's crazy.
Pause.
but this group is for, see, I knew it. I knew it was going to happen, and I'm going to be laughing the whole time.
I don't even play around. And that's to me, I already know. I already know. Like, I don't even play. But with this guy right here, oh, I can't even help it.
So listen, so the group is for women that have masculine men, right? That want to learn how to navigate that man, because y'all are different. It's not the same. And it's not easy to navigate a masculine man versus a regular guy. Like, regular guys let stuff slide. And there was a lot of things that we said in the podcast last week that a lot of people were like, I don't agree, or they didn't understand. And I could see why not, because it is non-conventional, we'll say. So let me just start off with some of the questions. All right. So first question, what are your perspectives on the new age independent woman, and would you date them? Well, first of all, they're not dating. Not this one and not that one. But hypothetically, On the new age independent woman, would you date them? Why or why not? Go ahead.
Wait, time out.
Okay.
What's the first part of that?
What you ask him first? See, be dating him.
Right.
Oh, because okay.
That's my thing.
What are your perspectives on the new age independent woman, and would you date them? But let's say something happened between all of us, and we just
Yeah, that's
doing
right.
it.
This is
Yeah, we got
We're
divorced.
not-
This is how
Let
that
him go
culture
first. It's more
understand.
relevant to him.
Yeah. So, what are your perspectives on a new age independent woman, and would you date them? Why or why not?
I don't think that there's a such thing as an independent woman. Usually women rely on something or somebody, and usually that's either the state, their baby father, their parents, their friends, or whoever, but there's no such thing as an independent woman. That's a mindset,
I was about to say that. Too.
and the independent woman mindset I detest. I just detest it. I hate it because it tells me that you're unaware. Like, I did this all by myself and this and that. Okay, you're an adult. You're supposed to work and
Sure, don't.
whatever else. But I just don't think there's such thing as an independent woman. And would I date one? Hell no. Not one that thinks they're independent. No.
Okay, got you.
And I'll just leave it short so everybody else can.
Yeah. We're gonna let y'all dialogue though. We're gonna let you dialogue. So, Pee Wee, would you date a new age independent woman?
The first question was what?
What are your perspectives on the new age?
Trash. I just was waiting to say that. Sorry. That's what I want you to say again. Trash.
So, why do you think that they're trash?
First of all, because they trash. There is no better way of saying they just trash. Independent women today, they think they don't need a man.
Okay.
And why wouldn't I date them? Because they don't understand how it's supposed to be ran. They don't understand the head of household. They don't understand submissiveness. Anything that has to do with my first foundation of biblical stuff, they don't understand any of that.
So that's got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the foundation for me. So
And so you
I would
date
never.
them? You
no,
would
no, I would never.
Okay,
The moment you say you're an independent woman, you all set.
gotcha. All right, TW, your perspective on a new age independent woman.
Well, I've said this in a, I don't know, I said it on something that nowadays you got boss bitches, divas,
Got it.
independent, all this thing, and I understand where it came from. It came from a lack of self-perspective and self-love at one point, and women of color titled themselves to give themselves this
Confidence.
confidence,
Mhm.
and it was well needed and deserved at some point. But then, as all black
outta
women
here.
do, they start with eyelashes and then they end up with umbrellas.
We-
Yeah.
You know? So it's like they just took it too far. And they took it too far at the detriment of what they say they want. I've always said
Right.
this. And remember when we first met,
Yeah.
I always said that the biggest problem that people have is when they do things that are contradictory to what they say they want.
Yeah, facts.
You want a man, but then you're doing everything contrary
Yeah.
to get one. And then you want a certain kind of man, but the certain kind of man you don't want the certain kind of person you are.
No.
So it's like you're only left with the pool of guys that made you become independent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like,
That's
so
a never
so
ending
so
cycle.
when we start talking about, the understanding, the same thing you say, we all saying the same thing because they don't understand. You said because they don't understand, they don't know. They think they know, but they don't know. The hardest thing in the world, I'll say, the most impossible thing in the world to do is try to teach somebody something they think they know.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that's my perspective on it. Will I? No. First of all, as I said, you can't date me, you can only experience me. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm an experience. You know what I'm saying? And with that, the right person has to be willing to experience me. Period. Because dating sounds like I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, that's what is that.
I don't know what that is. You're gonna experience me, so I'm gonna give you the ability to see who I am, and then in that, I'm gonna see how you interact, and if this is something that we can do together.
Right.
If we can't, but obviously from the start of it, I already know I can't, because you don't know, and if you're not willing to learn, if you know it already, then there's no need for me to even be around.
You're setting, as an independent woman,
Uh-huh.
you're setting yourself up to become an experience.
Yeah. Oh, and
Right.
only that.
And only that. Because like,
And not even a good
like you
experience.
said,
No, hell no.
you're pushing away the exact men that you want.
Mhm.
Like you said, there was a time in the 80s and 90s where there was a lot of dads missing, There was a lot of like chaos, and clap it up for the women. They did sort of exert themselves and sort of overcome in spite of not having their child's father there, not having a dad there. So if that was their like defense mechanism against society, cool. But like black women and black men need to be in this together, like in
Yeah.
order for it to work. And it's not like I'm battling you. It should be us battling the issues in the society that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And independent women
But
don't really see it that way.
Yodi, here's the problem with that. There'll be some people that listen to that say, yeah, we're in this together, but then the woman wants to come in at the same value as the
Oh,
man
yeah.
and say we're in it together.
Yeah, right.
You see what I'm saying?
So let me ask a quick question before, because
When I
it's
say in
kinda
it together,
segue.
I don't mean equal.
I know that. But that's the thing. People are listening,
Yeah.
and they're gonna say, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're
No,
doing it together.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not a partner. We're not in this together in that way.
Yeah.
Like I'm the literal leader of this thing, and that's it.
Well,
Period.
if not, then I'll do something else.
Yeah,
Simple.
I'll go with someone who knows how to be
Let-
led.
Play their position.
And that's
I
just
have
the bottom line.
so I have a question, and this is segueing. It's not even a second question, but I'm segueing it because I want to know what y'all feel then about the women that lead with their money, and they're always talking about their accolades, because a lot of women think that men value that. They think
Oh, no,
that
that's
men
the
value
least.
how much we make, and well, I work at this, and I'm this at this corporation, and I do this, and I do that, and then they're upset because the guys that they're attracting are the guys that only want their money. So, what do y'all think about the women that are leading with that as their top qualities when they meet a guy? When a guy says, you know, you take her on a date, you go out to dinner, and they're like, hey, so tell me a little bit about you, and they're like, oh, well, I work here and I do this and I make this amount of money and I'm almost at a 6-figure salary, and they're leading with what they do in the world. What do y'all think about those
So
women?
they lead in with the simple fact that they don't need you, in my opinion. If that's what you lead in with, then you pretty much giving me all the red flags of you don't need me. Because if we're supposed to be a provider and you trying to tell me all the ways you provide for yourself, then what the hell am I here for?
I agree.
And I'm not, and it's not to say no shade.
Oh,
It's not to say that
kidding.
you shouldn't, have your own money or nothing like that.
Right,
But if
right.
that's the bulk that you're bringing to the table and that's what you so amped about, you don't need me. Like, we just mad soup. Like you just mad amps for no reason, y'all.
But no, for real. You know what that turns into? That turns into a person who prioritizes that very thing.
That's true.
Probably.
So once you
I
get
would
into a
totally do
relationship
that.
with said woman who leads with her money and her accolades, that's what she's going to chase. Like, you're second fiddle. And like, I'm not second fiddle to nobody.
Yeah.
I'd rather be alone than to be second fiddle.
I don't know.
I think that the problem with that scenario is that women, this is issue that women have. They put men in the same thought process that they have. They expect men to think the way they think. So what women want is a man that makes a certain amount of money, that has this type of status, that can provide and protect and stuff like that. So what a woman does, she's looking at what she wants from a man and thinks that that's what a man wants from a woman.
Right.
Yeah,
And
that's
ultimately,
like the
only
love
thing
language
she's doing,
doing.
the
Yeah.
only thing she's doing is describing a man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what a
You
man
being
does.
what you want.
Yeah, you're being. This is what you couldn't get it, so you became it.
Right.
Oh, no.
That's all
see what I'm saying?
trash.
So it's like, that's the sickness that the society is having.
delusion.
Yeah, that's the
part of the
delusion. That's part of the delusion. They want so now somebody said it already that you're leading with that. So then when you get the guy that just wants that, then you're mad. But then it's the same thing with the guy. If he's leading with his money and he's getting a gold digger, it's the same thing. So
Yeah.
therefore, women have gotten on guys for so many years about that, and now they're doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, that's facts.
That's crazy. It's insane. We got another question. Okay. Can y'all shed light on the responsibilities of a man and how difficult it can be or not? Like, is it hard or difficult?
This is what I like to like okay, it's super difficult, and it's not because of like the work, it's because of like what our minds are doing all the time, right? I know me, right? It's super difficult to be the man because you have to think about everybody who you're taking care of at all times. You got to make sure they're in a safe area. B, they're content. C, there's enough food in the house. D, they feel comfortable. And then you're always planning for the next thing. Like I know for me, my mind is always churning for like, what's next year? Like, and then what we gonna do? And then what we gonna do? So like, it is kind of difficult to roll with me sometimes, because like, it might feel like I'm dragging you along. You know what I'm saying? Where you got comfortable, I'm like, well, no, this ain't the end, right? We got to keep kind of moving toward a certain goal. So it is hard being a man, because like I said, there's always a threat around the corner. And as far as what my mind does, that's what makes it hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I know that like when I was in the last situation, like I was the one who was always thinking, like always planning, always goal setting, and always like making sure everybody else was straight, sacrificing, not buying myself nothing, at the behest of making sure everybody else is good. And I'm not saying that's hard, because while you're doing it, it don't seem hard.
Mm-hmm.
But like when you look back at it, like damn, it is kind of difficult. You know, society makes it difficult too.
Yeah.
But that's all I'll say.
No, I agree with that. I think that is a slight difference between the struggles of being a man and the struggles of being a husband. I think the husband role is even harder.
Yeah, that's
Husband with exactly. Husband family role is harder because, like I said, like he said, speaking from his own experience, speaking from mine, I feel like every move that I make is gonna impact my family, my wife, and everything that's attached to it.
Yeah, that's true.
Every decision that I make, financial,
even a little one.
yeah, like the things that you don't think is gonna affect them is gonna affect everybody. So you're always constantly thinking about everybody else and not just yourself. It's one of those things where, you know how people be like, you gotta think about yourself sometimes.
Right.
Like, I mean, I tried. It don't work that way. You know what I'm saying? And it's super, super hard. It's hard. You're always thinking about the next moves to make, how to keep your family above water, how to keep the chicks out your inbox, how to everything.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I hear
You
you.
can't really stop that.
You can't stop it. You can't stop. You gotta navigate. That's a good thing though. Being a man is hard to navigate. You gotta learn how to navigate
Okay.
this world.
You do.
You know what I mean? That navigation is crazy.
It is. Yeah.
GPS.
Yeah, they're all the way GPS. And it's in the mind. Most of that is in the mind.
It's in your
Yeah,
head.
I could see that for a lot of
That's why men die faster.
Yeah, sure.
Facts.
And our stress levels are super
Our
super
stress
high.
level is high.
Well, but I can tell you why though, right? So you say lately women been dying faster. You know why though? Because women.
Independent.
There you go. Women been taking on that man role, and now they've been as a role as them taking on the man role and being independent and taking on all those stresses that they shouldn't have to.
Yeah.
They're causing themselves to stress more, get more diseases and all that type of stuff, and then they dying just like the guys is dying.
Oh man.
Like you done took our role. Good luck.
All right.
Thank you.
I got another few years, I guess.
So this is something that I was saying to you on the way to the car, on the way from picking you up from work.
Yes.
So let's just put it this way. The first part is, what was the question again?
Can y'all shed light on the responsibilities of a man?
Okay, so let's just put it this way. There's a bunch of males,
Oh yeah,
In this
all
world.
day. Yeah,
but being a male at an age doesn't make you a man.
true.
What makes you a man is the responsibilities that you choose to take on.
Exactly.
That's what makes you a man.
True.
So just the simple fact of that right there, it automatically makes it more difficult to be a man.
Facts.
Because a man is based on responsibility. Period. So you could be 50 years old and be a male and not be a man.
This is true.
And that's an easy life. And being a man is so hard. This is what I told her. That some men decided to be women.
Right.
Just because it's so hard being a man.
Ooh.
Think about that.
Yeah.
There was a woman,
Nah, that's crazy. Yeah,
there
you're
was
right.
a woman that she wrote a book and she died.
Yeah.
She killed herself.
Yep.
She
was
turned into a
for
man.
like a month or
For like
something.
it was 2 years. It was a year she was a man. Then she wrote a book. I think that took another year, and then she ended up killing herself
From
because
depression.
she thought being a man was so easy. right? And she still has a woman's mind,
Oh yeah.
mind
it's in-
you going through this experience. But she turned into a man, she transitioned, she got all the hormones, and she found out it is like unfathomably hard to be a man. Just by walking around as a woman. Women compliment you, men compliment you, women give you attention, men give you attention. You'll get a break faster. All you gotta do is stand out in front of your car for 2 minutes. Somebody's gonna come and help you.
Yeah.
With us, they'll drive by all day.
Oh, yeah. Nah, not working. Thumb up and everything, yo. Let that thumb get stiff.
Yo, they'll splash water on you and anything, not even care. But it's super hard because we don't get the bed of roses every day that y'all get. Along with having all these stresses that like make us like older and more like, you know what I'm saying? So those responsibilities coupled with society not being as kind to us makes it hard. It just makes it much harder.
Some time ago that like men are inherently lonely.
Yeah,
Like, most men are
absolutely.
lonely because
Yeah.
they don't get hugs, they don't get
Most men in this world will die by themselves alone. No kids under a bridge with a dog, because that is the life of a man. Women don't understand that.
At all.
So when we start talking about responsibilities of a man, let's go back a little bit because I know we can all go
Mhm.
back a little bit. There was a point that our responsibilities was set in stone. We would go out and risk our life, whether it was being a caveman hunting or whether it was being a coal miner digging ditches, doing utility work, something, being a CEO, risking your life every day. And our responsibility was to do whatever we needed to do to make sure that the people at home were fed and protected. We build a house, buy a house, secure a house, and bring home the resources for that house. And our family will respect us because they knew that every day that we left that house, there's a possibility that we might not return. That was the struggle of a man. And men took that responsibility on willingly, knowing a woman does not have to think about not coming home. You know how many men think about not coming home?
yeah, yeah,
This is true.
You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's a part. Women, that's not even a thought. Just that stress alone that we deal with every day. Because as I said, and I know Samir,
Samai.
I'm about to call you something else. He said it, and I say this also. Anytime two men interact with each other, there's a small chance of violence.
Oh yeah.
Anytime. And that's a world that women don't even live in. They're gonna do that. They're not. There's not. It can go left real quick, right, Jody?
Absolutely.
Real fast. Just one word that wasn't properly
the whole
placed
atmosphere.
at the right time
Yeah.
with the right state of mind.
We in
Next
the
thing you
middle
know,
of
we
the street on
outside.
Whaley Yeah.
Yo, it can happen just that fast.
Quick.
So women, that's a reality that women don't have to deal with.
Yeah.
So being a man is much more than just being grown.
Yeah, okay.
And let me tell you also what's harder about being a man. Getting the attention of the opposite sex. Like, as a man, you got to build yourself up. Like, mentally, spiritually, physically, you got to be capable. As far as fighting, you got to be a little trained. Like,
We should be.
Yeah, I always
you know what I'm
say
saying? Like, you have to build yourself up before you can't just, like, be a homeless man and get the baddest woman out there. But you can be a homeless woman and get the most,
You could be on fries at McDonald's.
and get a good man that
Facts.
will take care of you and bring you up to his level.
Let me flip a
Where a
burger.
woman is not necessarily going to bring you up to her level. She's going to expect you to already be there. So that's what makes it hard about being a man too. We got to already build ourselves up.
And another
And there's a lot of men out there who haven't had sex in 3 years. They watch porn. They're on OnlyFans.
There's a new generation of men that's saying it's so hard getting women. Why even try? Why we just do this?
Yeah.
That's how messed up this new society is. And to what you were saying, that women are born with value.
value.
A 16, 17, 18-year-old virgin has value just because of that right there. A 17, 18-year-old young man has nothing.
Yeah.
He got to build himself.
He has to
build
spend
it all up,
10 to
yeah.
15 years from that point on to get himself to where he can even talk to a 22, 23, 25-year-old.
Yeah.
Because remember in high school, all the hot chicks
What was deep
Oh,
niggas that?
Yep.
Yep.
That was
The
older
freshman
who
chicks
asked
was
them,
dealing with
yeah.
the seniors,
Yep.
and the seniors was dealing with the guys in college guys.
Ain't
So
nobody
the regular
in the age
guys,
bracket.
16, 17-year-old, they had to
Nobody.
You had
figure
to-
it out.
Yeah, you had to be fly.
You had to
like
be
I said,
lit.
You had to be up. Like it had to be
up.
up and stuck up. Like
And so that's and see, when we're talking about our personal situations right now, we're not even taking into fact, and the people are not even taking into fact that how we had to raise ourselves to this.
Yeah.
That was a process, it was a long process of failure, of heartbreaks, of pain, of getting dissed by girls, and a girl told me I was dirty when I was 15 years old. Huh? She said I was little and dirty.
Yeah, somebody told me I was ugly too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, but guess what? If you're out there, you can never say that about me again. You know what I'm saying? So,
Word.
I took a shower today.
I brushed my teeth.
Done. So, okay, so we discussed y'all foundation, which is biblical. Y'all take on new age women and the independence, the struggles of a man. So now, one of these questions are why? Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. What are some of the best ways that a woman can be supportive of men? We understand everyone is different, but generally speaking, like how can a woman actually be supportive to this kind of man?
I'll give an answer that nobody wants to hear. Be quiet and just be peaceful. Just don't say nothing sometimes. Like that's the best support you can get. Like, because truthfully, if I didn't ask for your listen, if I'm bringing you an idea now, right, about something we should do, and the goal in 2 years from now, right? I've already thought of it 10 different ways. I've already looked at this chessboard 20 different times, seen all that could go wrong, all that could go right. I've already went through the process by the time I'm bringing it to you. So when I bring it to you and say, hey, I think we should do this, being quiet, nodding your head, yeah, that sounds good. That's the best you can do. Because honestly, like your input at that point,
Not warranted. It's not needed.
you might give me another avenue, and even if you do, okay, but I've already probably thought about what you're gonna say. Like I'm just telling you because this is where we're going. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost like debriefing you, giving you a heads up, like you would do a child. Like, you know, with children, you got to say, okay, now in about 10 minutes, it's going to be dinner time, or in about 10 minutes, we have to leave the park. Like, you can't just say, all right, we leave, and they're going to cry. You got to prep them. You got to say, hey, listen, in about 10 minutes, we're going to go eat, and it's going to be McDonald's. It's going to be great. It's going to be, well, I don't eat McDonald's, but it's going to be good. Like, da-da-da-da. You got to kind of like bring them along the process. And like, that's what men like me are doing when I tell you something about like where we should go. Honestly, you're like, idea, well, why we got to do it like this, and why can't we do it this way? Like, that's just annoying at that point.
Yeah.
So like, if I really didn't ask for your suggestion, I don't need it. I've already thought about this
Not to mention,
in ways that you can't, because you're not dealing with real life like I am. So like, you don't even understand like what's going on right now. So,
and not to mention, if you chose to be, and this is my opinion, if you chose to be with that man, then you've chose to trust that he knows what he's doing. He knows where to bring you at. You can trust him with everything, the plans and everything. So if you don't agree with any of that type of stuff, you're really tearing them down, low key. You know what I'm saying? I said something like that the other day, right? I said something about
You wasn't listening.
you wasn't listening. See the listeners. You know what I'm saying? You see the listeners.
Because I really don't think you did, but
No,
just...
so finances. Remember I said something about finances? So this is not airing dirty laundry. This is a regular conversation.
I
right?
hear our dirty
So
laundry all
this
the
is
time.
one of the things that I said. I said you don't trust me financially when it comes to the finances.
Okay.
And now mind you, she may in her mind,
Yes,
but when it comes from a guy, I feel you don't when it comes to you having an opinion about something that I already thought about that would financially set us up. You get what I'm saying?
Right,
So
yes.
it's not, so that's what makes me feel that
Yes.
that you don't trust the process, or you don't trust the guy with the
Yeah.
finances or whatever else.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's the fact that, like Yodi said, you got the blueprint. You done thought of this, you done thought of that. You got everything laid out, and you hit me with the, yeah, but why we don't?
oh,
My nigga.
For real.
But I still
Like that's a good point. That's a good point. When you like, because what attracted you to that guy was probably a little bit of his mind too.
Yeah, of course it is.
So why stop trusting his mind, or why stop going on good faith on what he's saying?
Yeah.
Like, did he suddenly change and want to destroy your life? I understand why you wouldn't listen now. And I think it's because of comfortability. Women, once they get comfortable,
it's one of those
once they
things
have a
where-
routine, once they can spend this amount of money, once they can do this, like once your allowance is, 125 a week, you don't want it to go down to 75 for that goal over there. So you immediately become opinionated. You know what I'm saying? Like you immediately become obstinate and opinionated because truthfully, down home, you don't want that comfortability to change for that goal that he just set.
No, let's pitch our tent here.
Yeah.
Like, let's pitch here.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll say this right here. This is, and I'm going back to when I was in my dating pool, and I remember saying most of this stuff to Tonisha, that the very thing you love about me is the
That's
thing
what I
you
was
hate
saying.
about
Yeah.
me the most.
When I
Oh,
first met him,
yeah.
That's
I was like,
that's
you saved
that's,
so much.
that's what it boils down
She
to.
hated.
That's the whole thing. And either I'm that guy or I'm not that guy. If I'm that guy, let me be that guy. But to answer the question, what's the best thing? Well,
Very powerful statement. Everything you love about me is the same thing you hate.
Yeah, because for me to be the guy that you fell in love with, sometimes it doesn't work in your favor.
Right.
Sometimes it works against your desires. Again, but if I wasn't this guy,
Yeah.
you wouldn't even love me.
Mhm.
If I wasn't assertive, if I didn't take charge, I wouldn't even be at the spot we met.
Yeah.
I'd be somewhere else. I'd be under the bridge with those guys.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Or just playing PlayStation all day.
Oh,
and
my
smoking
God.
weed. Like,
So either I'm gonna be that guy or I'm not. And if you choose for me to be that guy, let me be the guy. If not, I'll do something else.
right.
Simple. What's the question again?
What are some of the best ways that a woman can be supportive?
Okay. Best way you be supportive.
Mine was shut up in this.
Yes.
Shut up in this.
Okay, you know what?
Shut your ass up.
This is mine.
Nah, shut up in this,
This is
yo.
mine. The best way a woman can be supportive is by representing me well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's true.
That's a good one.
I have a brand.
That's good.
When I leave the house, I represent myself at the highest. I always just say it's my responsibility as a black man to uphold a certain standard for the people that's coming behind me. I got little bros. I got people that call me big bro. And so when I show up, it has to be a certain look. They're expecting something from me. And then if they're expecting it from me, by proxy, they're expecting it from you. And not only that, you can tell. Well, again, it's real simple. You want to know how you put value on a man? By what type of woman he has. Not only what kind of woman he gets, but what type of woman he has. And if that woman is submissive, if that woman is friendly, if that woman is feminine, if that woman is in shape, if that woman is taking care of herself, it's a reflection of him.
Yeah.
So the best thing that you can do, woman out there, is represent the guy that you're with to the degree he wants to be represented. Not how you feel you should represent. Because again, you want to wear pajamas outside. That's you. Well, it's that's what you want to do. And the thing is, this woman, you can't turn it off. You can't turn it on and off. If you get into that, and then you get with a guy like me, and I remember when the pajama epidemic started. I'm looking around like, why are these people wearing pajamas outside? I used to
The house clothes, like.
Listen, I used to cut hair, and I used to wear a suit to the barbershop, a full suit. And I'm watching my community outside wear pajamas every day. And I'm like, what's going on? The standard is the bar is so low you could crawl over it. And so for me, if you want a high level guy, you want a guy that got resources, is doing his thing, you have to know how to represent that guy, because everything about me represents everything I am.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
I think
Being out there,
wow.
being embarrassing, being out there giving males too much attention, being out there talking about your family business, being out there doing any of that, like, that is the number, like, so disloyal, super disloyal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was a woman that asked a question, and y'all tell me what y'all think about this, because I answered it just in my own way, but I would like to hear y'all perspective. It was like, what can a woman do, right, to hold the man accountable? So my answer was that I hold accountable in my silence. I hold accountable by, I feel like the man puts a path together, right? Let's say Sam says, hey, this is what we're gonna do, this is what I want Rel to do, this is where I want us to go as a family. And then if he falls off of that himself, I stay on it. Then the only thing a guy can do is look at the fact that you're still doing what he said, and unless he maneuvers you back, then that's the only way. Because there's really no way to kind of hold a grown man accountable. Like, I think women are nowadays, like you said, shut up, it is. You said represent you well, as far as like what a woman can do to be supportive. But like, what about when the guy is
Falling off.
falling off? Yes. Then what? Like, do not say any. Well, I know for
Well,
me,
this
I
is-
just don't say much.
This is a good thing to do, right? Ask questions.
I was thinking that.
Yeah. Talk.
No, I was thinking that. Asking questions, not necessarily just giving.
Not
opinions
sarcastic questions. I thought you said you was gonna work
Yeah.
out every day. Not that. No, not like that. But like, ask him, are we still doing such and such?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And honestly, because we have things going on too. It might be like, the year his brother died or something, and he might be thinking he might got like 2 to 3 days of depression or whatever he might be going through. But at the end of the day, if he said it, that's I mean, especially somebody like me, I'm doing it. Like, I'm not necessarily gonna fall off. But we have a self checker, and then.
Yeah.
If you ask questions, I think that's the best way not to get into an argument.
That's actually
like
key.
not to go head up, helmet to helmet with him and be like,
Do you remember when we was younger and Dad smoked,
yeah,
and he thought that nobody knew that he smoked? And one day when we was kids, we did like a project at school, like we did a project at home or something, and we drew some crayons and we was talking about the dangers of smoking. And like, Dad, why don't you look at this? We was doing this, and we got, and this is what smoking does. It hurts your lungs, and it does this, and it does that. Don't you think smoking is bad? Now,
Y'all got beaten.
that's so funny. No, we didn't. It was just like, there was a lesson that we had learned in church one day that said that when there is a leader, you go to them in question form. Like, you go to them in a way that says, like, I'm not checking you at all. Like, it's not a check, but like a real question that's not sarcastic. Like, are we still going this way? Or do you feel like this is good, even though you might already know, but you're asking a question to get them to reflect or to get them to answer, as opposed to just being like, well, you said we were going to do this, and you haven't been doing this for this long, and you haven't been doing it for that long. And
Or not even just answer the question, but actually elaborate and communicate. Because women always feel like guys suck at communication. But
Okay.
the communication sucks because the way you came at me made me not want to communicate with your ass. Sorry.
wow,
Yeah,
okay.
Or forgive me. But you get what I'm saying?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
that's why
Straight
the
up.
questions and not being sarcastic and all that type of stuff allows the guy to be vulnerable, open up, tell you what he's thinking, what he's feeling, and he communicate.
he
Right.
might have just had a stressful few days,
Yeah.
or he might have changed the plan entirely, or he may have went toward that plan and got a better one,
Okay.
and just didn't tell you yet. So there's a lot of things that could be going on. That's why a question will help. A real good faith question, not like a sarcastic, digging, accusatory question.
Ooh,
Let me-
accusatory.
Let me say this right here.
I don't know if that's a word.
I don't know, but it sounds like one.
Yeah, I made that one.
I made that one.
I made that one.
Accusatory, is that
Okay,
real
all right,
word?
Let me say this right here. So, as far as holding a man accountable, I think the whole mentality of trying to
do
hold
that.
a man accountable is off.
Yeah, that's all.
See, that's the thing right there. See, women nowadays, they have it in their head of this equality. They have it in this head, but I know that there's certain people that you would not question. A woman. There's somebody in your life, woman out there, that you wouldn't question.
Your boss.
Okay, but then why is it that you're questioning? And then again, your boss chooses you, meaning that you don't get to choose your boss.
Ooh.
but you get to choose your husband. So why would you give the person you choose less authority than the person that chooses you?
I'm gonna throw this one, but it's full.
So the mindset of just, well, he not doing this and he not doing it, and somebody got to check him. It's that whole mentality that you're bringing this masculine energy out. The thing is this: if he's not doing something that he said he was going to do, and it's not detrimental to the family, so what?
Yeah.
So what? Because then now we go pound for pound, you're not doing a bunch of stuff either. But the fact that he has to say things to you and you don't get to say things to him, but guess what? This is how it goes. The man has authority over the woman.
Period.
When I say authority, again, you can word check the definition, but authority means that he has
Like rain.
he has the final say. He has authority, meaning he's the top person. But then the women have authority over the children. So at the end of the day, if you can't be under authority of a man, then your children are watching you, and they're not going to listen to you. Because it's just, and this is where the family structure is breaking up, and that's why when we start saying submission, authority, you know,
Head of household. Like,
that's a trigger word. But that same trigger is the reason why the family structure is broken up, and the reason why society is going crazy right now. Do you know that family was the first institution on this planet? The first institution before the church, it was family. Before Google, there was a family. Before Amazon, it was family is the first institution, because from family we get societies, we get neighborhoods, we get societies, we get countries, and we get the world from families. So once that's broken up, because people don't know, stepping on toes, don't know what gender, don't know play the role. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, because back in the day I was supposed to provide and protect. Now you're saying you don't need that. So then what am I doing?
Put a wig on.
So again, and I'm gonna say this right here, and I'm gonna pass it on. Women, I'm gonna say this to the women that have these questions. I'm gonna tell you the secret. You wanna know the secret? This is not no Steve Harvey secret stuff. This is a secret. A man needs to be needed.
Oh, all day, 100%.
And the reason why I say that is this. And some would be, oh, that's insecure and da-da-da-da-da. Some say that, but no. In order to get the full potential of a man, it has to be drawn out of him. There's no reason. Again, think about it. We're hardwired to go and risk our life to protect you and provide for our family. And the only way we can do that properly is to be needed. I have a little girl that has special needs. She needs me. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing I wouldn't do for her because she needs. I know that it doesn't matter what her mother, doesn't matter what she needs me. And there's nothing that she'll ever go through that will inconvenience me because she needs me. Can't you imagine having a man treat you like that? Wouldn't you want a man to feel that way about you, woman? To say that no matter what, you're never an inconvenience because you need him? It doesn't make you weaker. It doesn't make you less than him. But it makes the whole institution work.
And it doesn't make him weak to be needed. Think about it even in a physical standpoint. Like if I have a trainer or something, I'm doing push-ups and I get to 50 and I'm like, oh, my brain is telling me I can't do no more. But then my trainer like, go ahead, get it up, go ahead, go. You know, something else will kick in and I'll be able to do 10 more. And it's the same thing with the family. Like, we make this amount, but I'm going to make this amount go around 3 or 4 times to make sure y'all are comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Now, when I'm single, I don't necessarily do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more free. I'm more free thinking. But when you have a family and kids who looking up at you, you know, like he said, something gets drawn out of you and it comes from somewhere else. You know what I mean? And that's what actually builds you as a man. Like, to like fall, get up, you know, break down, get back up. Like, failure is what created what you see now. You know what I'm saying? Like, failing by myself or failing with another person is what drew out this better me. You know? So like, we definitely need to be needed, or else we're just roommates, we're partners. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't expect me, because like, there's nothing about a relationship that conveniences a man. It conveniences the woman in the family.
Yep.
Nothing in a relationship conveniences us. We're born to spit out so much semen that we can't even like. Come on now, stop pause. Like pause. Sounds crazy. We're born with mad semen and it never stops. Like y'all have a certain amount of eggs.
You're born with them.
You're born with, and that's all that's gonna come. Us, we can have kids to the day we die. Now we have to shut that off for you. We have to shut off a lot of things to make y'all comfortable and to make y'all happy, make y'all content and taken care of. Nothing in a relationship benefits us. If we leave it, y'all get everything. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get the kids, y'all get the house, y'all get so there's nothing about legal marriage that benefits us. So if a man actually marries you and you have a man like that, like you wilding for letting go. Like, you're wild.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another question. Why do men want control without earning control? Like, what they mean by this is the female is literally making all the decisions, but men say they want to take the lead on everything.
Say that one more time.
Why do men want control without earning control? And what they mean by this when they say this is the female is literally making all of the decisions, but then the men just want to say they take the lead on everything.
That was a
I
weird question.
can't answer that because that ain't me.
Yeah.
Somebody who doing that can answer that.
No, I'm not doing that. Nobody here is doing that. But watch this right here. So listen to the question though.
It's already crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
but watch this right here. Why do women expect so much from a man without earning it?
right.
You
I
see what I'm
think
saying?
that's the bigger question.
Yeah, that's the bigger question. Cause see, okay, so
Like,
so I'm assuming that this woman is the breadwinner. I'm assuming that she makes more money. I'm assuming that it's her house, her car. I'm assuming that she has leverage in that some kind of way. And so this man, which is still a man, regardless of how much money she makes, regardless of how ill she is and how soup she is about what she make, he's still a man.
Mhm.
And your money and your status is not gonna change him being a man. He's still gonna want to come in and have his dominance, have his authority. If not, then you're partners, or he got his hips in the air. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Or he running around. Like he might
Yeah.
just not be focused on y'all like that.
But if
You know what I mean?
but if a man comes into your situation and he's saying, okay, I gotta make all decisions, and you feel that he shouldn't, then number one, you picked the wrong guy. Number two, you put yourself at such a high status that you'll never be able to find somebody that has a higher status than you that'll be willing to put up with you.
Jesus.
So then now you're either gonna have to deal with the guy and appease him, or just be by yourself.
We got to know.
And the thing is too, like I'll delegate certain decisions too. Like I don't mind saying you handle that. Like that's part of being a guy. Like delegating the authority around, being like, all right, I don't want to deal with the party plans. See, you do that because I don't even like the party anyway. Like you go ahead and you handle the party invitations and this and that, and we'll be cool. Or I'm gonna give you a certain amount for groceries. You just go get them. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know what we eat. You know what you cook.
Right.
You know what you're best at cooking. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Everything tastes good to me. It's food. Food is good. Like, that's why, like, sometimes, like, what you want for dinner? Food. I don't care what you make. You know what I'm saying? But you know what you like to make. You know how you like to season it. But I'm going to give you how much we can spend. You know what I'm saying? Or there are a lot of decisions I'll delegate. But there's some I will not budge on. I need the control.
How do you think
and the
that's going to
authority.
work if you come into somebody's situation and they have everything set up already, and they have to basically hand over the authority, hand over
It's
the
not
keys?
going to work with a man like me.
It's not going to work.
No,
It's not gonna work.
You gotta be a certain type of.
So
You gotta be a certain type of woman for that.
I tried that too.
I'm asking
tried
a
that
question
part
for
too.
clarity.
Yeah.
So y'all talking about like you coming in, a woman already got her own house.
That's what it sounds like.
She
Yeah.
already
Didn't
got her
sound
own
like that.
car. No, I'm
She got her own house, her own car, her own budget.
She got her own situation, and then a man is coming in.
Man is
And
coming
he probably got
in.
left
You're
to her.
just an accessory at this point. Like
Now
you
you're
might
just
want
like a
to
Christmas
put
tree.
He
that you're
doesn't.
putting
He doesn't necessarily.
bulbs and
See, here's the thing. So, in this situation, women, if you have done that, congratulations. You did good for yourself. Now, and that's not
No
a
shade,
diss.
no shade.
That's not a diss. That's
No
not a
shade.
shade. No shade.
Got it.
But what I'm saying is this right here. So now, if you say, okay, I've done this, I've accomplished. Now I want to bring
wanna
somebody
rest.
into my life.
that's wrong.
since,
That's off.
no, listen. So if you do come to that conclusion at that point, you have to be willing to let him be a man. And a man is gonna have to take control of the house. Or you could do the 50-50 thing, but then you're gonna get a certain kind of guy that'll be willing to do that. And then if you're saying that he wants to take over control, then a 50-50 situation, you can't really take control. So you're gonna have to have a 50-50,
So
which
it's safe to
which is
say-
off balance from
It's
what
off. A woman should always be enveloped into a man's life, not the other way around.
Even if she making more money.
So even if she's already set up and making more money and has kids and you have to you have to allow a man to be a man, or he's A, going to leave if he's a man like me, or B, he's going to be the man you don't want. Like, you don't want this guy. He might look good or whatever, but that'll run out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, he's going to be the type that's movable and shakeable. And like, when we go out into society, we're not budging for our family. Like, we're trying to get the best for y'all at all times, and we're not going to budge on that. So like, why would we come in our own house and budge on things and be like compromising? Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are supposed to envelop into his life.
Yeah, and if you built yourself up to that point, now he can take it from there. Can you relinquish that?
You have to
Can you
find
say-
a man you can trust.
Yeah, that's
really
it right
that's
there.
the bottom
Find a man
line.
you can trust is not gonna take advantage. Because again, no matter what, I always say there's various players on both sides. There's women that take advantage of men and men that take advantage of women. So a woman in that situation, there's gonna be some players out there that's gonna take advantage of that. So she has to find a man she can trust, and then relinquish the keys over and say, okay, I built it from here. Can you take it to the next level? And in order for him to take it to the next level, he has
He's
to
gonna
have
have to
authority.
take control.
And if you got the right guy, he definitely gonna do
He's
it.
gonna take. Yo, listen, that's the break he was waiting for.
Yeah.
So this would segue into the next question. Do you feel like less of a man if the woman is the higher earner?
No,
Nah, hell no.
no. Because that's my money too. That's my money you're bringing in. Like,
So you're saying the money that she makes is your money too, because y'all
every
are.
dime she makes is mine as well. Like, in fact, it's more mine than it is yours.
Explain.
Because
Tell
I'm
us
gonna
more.
be the one who budgets that money. Like, I'm gonna be the one who makes the decisions on that money. Now, like, of course, you're gonna get some type of spending range, because I know women like to just walk around in Walmart and pick stuff up and grab stuff,
Not
get
Walmart.
candles.
Picking stuff from
These is the
Target.
these is the Woodwick
Home
candles.
goods.
This
The
is that.
3 weeks.
So you gotta give a
Journalism,
little
that's-
bit of financial freedom, but that money is mine to delegate.
So basically, because this is what I'm hearing you say.
Or else
I'm
this
asking-
relationship is not serious to me.
No, so let me ask you. So then, you're very clear on the fact that, and you said this last week, you don't believe in 50-50 at all.
No,
Not even a little bit.
at all.
Not even close.
No.
And why?
Because there's no way to win to be that kind of guy, right? So let's say you come in, you pay for everything. You're still gonna have to fight for respect with these women out. So
So
50-50, you just like, I mean, what do you do?
I'm gonna
Because
say
if I say don't work, I want to take care of you totally.
That's bad. 'Cause you're an abuser.
Abuser. But then if I go 50-50, you don't respect me as a man. So now what? We're in a pickle.
yeah,
I think this all boils down to the type of woman and the type of man you choose too.
well, again, it boils back down to the first question that we answered. We're providers, protectors, and providers. And if we're 50-50, then you're doing part of my job.
Yeah.
So then again, I am not operating in the full capacity of my manhood. If I'm allowing you to do part of it, like it's really
Nowadays, it's like, what can you say to quit your job?
no. But listen, this
You know,
is.
like-
I don't think anything is ever 50-50.
But listen, it's
What?
other ways to do it. Like, say for instance, you can do it like this. I believe like this. This is my belief that a man should have his own before he can ever think about having a woman.
That's
I
me.
agree.
He has to have his own. He has to learn how to live by himself. He has to learn how to wash his dishes, learn how to make his bed, learn how to cook his food,
So he know
learn
how
how
to
to wash.
work it.
So he'll know what you never hire somebody to do something you don't know how to do. I know it's not. I'm
Big
not hiring,
facts.
but that's how I look.
Saying,
Yeah.
yeah.
So you have to know what the job is. So when you're delegating this stuff to your girl, your wife, then you know how hard it is. You can say, I need you to do this and that. But if you don't know how long it takes to do that, you're telling her to do 30 things. You can't do it in a day. But if you know, oh, it's going to take about this. But anyway, the point is this right here. So once you live by yourself, now you have the ability to bring another person into that situation.
Now let's say
If you-
you're your age, right?
Uh-huh.
Let's say you're my age,
Uh-huh.
because I'm probably in the middle between y'all two, right?
Yep.
You're a little older, you're a little younger, right?
Yeah.
At this stage in the game, because there's a lot of people that are dating or not married.
Yeah.
Think about it, 75% of black women are not
Not
married
married, no.
at all, and they won't get married.
No, they won't.
And that's already a problem in itself.
Right.
So like, at this age, you meet a woman,
Mhm.
she's already had her kid, you already had your kid, you know. What does that look like then?
Okay.
Bringing a woman into your situation.
So this is the thing. If you're already, the point is you already have your situation. So you're able to maintain what you have. Now, if you're bringing somebody in, and unless you're in a studio home or something like that, then that's different. But if you have a place and you're bringing a person in, it doesn't require much more from her for you to maintain what you've already been maintaining,
Right.
which allows you to do one or two things. You say, okay, we can't live here forever, but she makes an income.
Mm-hmm.
I can survive off of this. Why don't we take your income for the next 2 years and save it? Save 80% of
Now
it.
your woman has to be willing to
Yes.
do
Gotta
something.
be
She's
willing.
not even willing to do it. That's what we're doing because we're not doing nothing else.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, look,
about to
we're
get a new
gonna
bag.
sacrifice. See, the problem is everybody wants it
So
right
now-
now. Everybody wants to sacrifice. And everybody wants to look at Instagram and see the food and the trips and stuff, and they
Or
want that right
again,
away.
or again, even not even wanting it right now, being comfortable where they are. I think that's
Yeah.
more of a
Yeah,
sickness
yeah, being
absolutely.
comfortable.
than wanting
Absolutely.
something right now. I think being comfortable and being like scared of the success of sacrificing and doing something big.
Listen,
You know what I mean?
sacrifice her income for 2 years. If she makes 50,000, then what you got? You got 100 minus taxes. So
That's
you
about
got
$80,000.
You got 75K stored up.
Let's get this 3-family and then
And you could go
buy
do
another
something
one,
else.
Then buy another one.
But it takes sacrifice. Karen went out. It takes sacrifice. It takes some type of commitment to moving forward. So, but this is what happened. You got the same situation you just acknowledged. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go get a bigger place. So you're paying $1,500 a month. She paying $1,500 a month. Now y'all get together. You're paying $3,000 a month, and y'all in the same situation with no growth. And it only takes one of your incomes, something to happen, her get pregnant, she can't work, you
All
lose your
set.
job, and now y'all all set. When you could have been in the same situation that you was taking care of yourself all by yourself before, and if something ever happened, her income, what she's not using, can float. But see, people don't
I'm
think like
listening.
that. People don't think like
Like,
that.
I know when I hear wisdom, I know when I
Yeah,
hear.
people don't think like that.
argue with you.
And that's what men and women do at this young age. They come together and they pull their resources because it's so hard out here. There's nothing wrong with that, but it still requires sacrifice.
Yeah, you gotta
You gotta
learn.
sacrifice.
how to
Yes, you gotta learn how
You
to
gotta
sacrifice.
learn how to challenge yourself and like be like, you know what? I want that. Like seeing afar off. I mean, opposed to
There's
You remember you say to Terrell all the time, you gotta do what you have to do to do
what you wanna do.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I tell. I used to tell my kids, my boys, all the time. Do what you have to do, so that nobody can tell you.
I used to
Nothing.
say this. I'm ambitiously lazy. I'm so lazy that I'll work my butt off just so I can be lazy.
Right.
So I can do. I work for literally 3 months out of the year. That's it. That's it. So I can have the rest of the year off. But them 3 months, 4 months, I'm
Killing
going
it.
hard. I'm going
Killing it.
hard. And
No, y'all don't even know.
You set yourself up. You set
I
yourself
can't
up.
miss him,
that's
so-
that way I don't have to do nothing. But then when I'm around, I'm bringing the kids to school every day. I'm chilling.
Don't let you have somebody that be like, all you do is work.
Yeah.
Like you want these things, but then like I'm out here making that thing happen. You know, so it gets rough, man. It gets rough.
But real quick, there was a scripture that I was looking at earlier, and it's in Proverbs 24, I think it's verse 3. It says, a house is established through wisdom
Of course.
and through understanding and knowledge. So and his rooms are filled with knowledge. So in order to establish a house, in order to get this stuff, you have to have information. You have to have knowledge. You have to have wisdom. You have to have understanding. That's so important because you can't be good at something you never did before. So as a man, you have to do this. You have to go out and get the experience of being a husband, being a boyfriend, taking care of bills, running some type of organization, some type of structure with employees. If you're not able to do that, you're going to get into a marriage thinking that it's just easy. Get into a relationship thinking it's just easy. Yo, we learn every day. We consistently learn every day. And if you're not committed to self-improvement, you're not committed to wisdom, understanding, if you don't have some type of foundation, you're going to lose.
Yeah, you gotta have.
You're gonna lose. And that's where the society is right now. They're just going off of ideas with nothing to substantiate it. Oh, this sounds good. We'll go 50-50. Oh, this sounds good. We're equal. This sounds good. Listen, we are not equal.
At all.
And be living check to
In
check.
any sense of the imagination, we are not equal.
You know what I
But that's what makes us love you.
Yes.
Like, that's the part that makes us love you.
Go back to
It's
you
like,
needing me.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you my
Thank
little
you.
baby. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's where the love come in at. Like,
Yeah, you gotta draw.
because it's like,
Being precious.
You needing me draws me into that love thing. That, you know what I'm saying? Like,
And then by you needing a man, you start to respect that man because what he has to do to provide those needs.
right.
Mm-hmm.
For him to go up above and beyond to do something without question. See, again, if you have the right man and you're the right woman with masculine and feminine, there's nothing a man won't do.
And he'll get it right even if he doesn't got it right from the
Yes.
get-go.
Right.
He'll figure
You
it
gotta
out.
let him fail.
He'll figure it out.
You
He'll
gotta
figure
let
it
him-
out.
You,
You
He'll
can't
figure
say,
it out.
see, I told you. You gotta just let him get up and keep going.
you know that nigga on the basketball court with the knee pads and the headband that be missing everything, yo.
You gotta let him
But
shoot.
you gotta let him
At the end of the
But then you
game.
keep on inverting. Yo, you got this, yo. My man will scrape his knees the whole game, yo.
Yup. He the best on D, I tell you that.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah, that was
Hey,
crazy.
Whoa.
Whoa. Damn. My bad.
Shit.
I think that
I
was
didn't
the
like
worst
the
one.
energy that you said it.
Yeah, let's
let's
change the subject.
Whoa.
Yeah, we got
God.
My bad. My bad.
on to the next.
So my next question is what are your spiritual beliefs? Do you believe that you and your wife should be equally yoked?
Of course.
Of course. So equally yoked only in religion? Because I don't believe that equally yoked only means in spiritual belief.
It doesn't only mean
See,
it's
I
spiritual
don't
belief,
see
though.
like my beliefs isn't a religion, so it's like
Yes.
it's hard. Like you just have to have these principles, like these spiritual, like
You have to be
biblical
open to-
spiritual guidelines, because like you know, the acknowledgement of God is the beginning of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? That's the start of it, and then everything else flows from there. So like, you gotta believe in the Most High. You gotta believe in God, like, and then like. Because if you don't believe what I believe, it sounds like Charlie Brown's mother. Wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, everything you say is just like,
It's not going to make any sense to you. But like how we're explaining it now, or how Tim just explained it, is like, yeah, like you needing that man is going to draw out whatever he needs to be. You know what I'm saying?
that's tight, son.
You agree?
Oh, I definitely agree. Definitely agree. I ain't even got nothing to add to that one.
That's just like
I ain't got nothing to add to that.
that'll turn into like a 2 to 3 month smash session and then you out. Like it's not
So do
nothing sustainable if you're not equal.
this not up here. I just thought about it because you said you're talking. So a woman that doesn't have the same you as you, would you ever want to date them and feel like you could level them up, or
Sure.
that's just like a no?
Sure. No. Like
It's the willingness. It's the
Women are made
willingness.
to be taught as long as they're willing to learn.
Exactly, it's the willingness.
You're made to be taught. Like your dad hopefully should have taught you up till now. You know, that's how it used to work.
Mm-hmm.
But like, you know, and then life has its own lessons. But when you get into a relationship with a guy like myself or these men, you're gonna be taught. Like you're gonna be like, nah, don't do that, because like I remember no knock on anybody, but I remember like you know, my son's mother now, like I taught her a whole lot. Like she was the type of person that was like just green on everything. Like the streets, how people behave, boundaries, just everything. I had to be like, well, listen, you do this, look, watch, he ran ask for money right there. Sure enough, he woke up, hey, you got 50 cents? She like, how did you know that? I'm like, because I see patterns and behavior, just like the Matrix for me. Like, I see, like, it's hard to explain, but it feel like I'm like a supercomputer that just sees people's behaviors and their how they talk and how they move and how they da 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 da. And like I could like pinpoint you, but a woman is made to be taught. I mean,
I think that a woman has to be equally yoked, but then there's no real such thing as equally yoked. There's gonna be somebody's gonna be a little higher than the other. But the key is being teachable, willing, having an open mind, possessing the ability to allow.
right.
That's something that women don't have. They don't have the ability to allow.
Or if they say something like, I let the man lead. You already off.
You're off.
Yeah.
By
Off.
thinking that you choose to let somebody.
That you thinking that this is a choice for
Yeah,
you.
like you definitely.
It's not a choice for you. Like either I'm leading or I'm out. Like there's no choice you have in
I'm
this matter.
leading or I'm leaving.
Yeah,
I think
like
I think females get mad when people talk like that though, because they're thinking every guy. You know what I'm saying? When you say that, so when you get a trash dude, you thinking that we talking about
Yeah.
he's supposed to be leading. No, we ain't talking about him.
Right, I got you.
Like
Like,
he
we're not
about to
talking-
lead you to hell. Like
And that's the thing.
we're not talking about main and
Most-
like
yeah,
little
Most
Jerome,
people,
like,
most people that get triggered by certain things, they're getting
Their
triggered
trauma.
based of their own situation. They can't relate in their mind. It
you gotta
doesn't
be
make
able to
sense.
distinguish the difference.
or like it's a trauma thing too, because like sometimes men like us and the way we talk, it seems abusive. Like it led to abuse back in the day. This forceful,
So-called abuse.
this forceful, loud talking man may have hit you. So now, if you see a forceful, like
And then that resembles
dominant,
it,
dogmatic man, you think it leads to like he's controlling me, like this other guy. You know what I mean? And like
I think
that's
for
why you have to go into it with good faith and knowing what that man believes in and where he's trying to go.
It's
I
about
think
choosing.
just women in general don't like to be like women have a problem
Listening.
listening and following. Like we have a problem being coachable because in our minds, for whatever reason, we feel like we know best and we feel like we know better than y'all, and so we should be telling y'all what to do.
Let me say this right here. For the women out there that have a problem submitting under authority or listening or following instructions, let me just say this right here. No person, no people on the planet follow more instructions or better instructions than men. We fall under authority so easy. We
Oh my
like,
God, facts.
like army. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
When we're on a job with other men, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Football, boom, boom, boom. Any sports, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom.
We-
We fall under
that's
authority.
clockwork,
That's
yeah.
our quarterback. This is our point guard.
This our
That's
leader.
our coach.
That's
this
our
is
captain.
our GM. This is our sergeant. This is
Yeah.
our. We don't have a problem with that for women, and it doesn't make us less than a man.
Yeah.
Under those circumstances, listen. If we doing photography,
Yeah.
Pee-wee's
We
the
the
lead.
leader. Shit. Like
And you gotta tell us what to do.
Nah, I'm
Yo,
do this.
we gotta be carrying. We gotta be carrying shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk up in there. Yeah. Put that right there. Put that right there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And neither one of them have a problem with it.
At
Y'all
all.
was just talking about the gym.
Yeah.
Like, I'm listening.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to
We're
listen.
not gonna have a
He's more-
problem with it.
he's
We're
more
not
confident.
gonna have a
Like,
problem with it. But women, that thing is just like, no, not gonna listen. Like,
That's what their inside is doing.
exactly.
If
They
you
don't
saw a
want,
picture-
yo, but we don't have a problem doing it
Nah,
because
that's not.
but here's
Y'all
the thing.
do
Watch this
understand.
right. We choose our leaders though.
Yeah.
We choose the people. Look, if I don't, I'm gonna go learn from somebody else.
Yeah.
And I asked you a question about weightlifting earlier. That was me submitting to your knowledge of weightlifting.
Yeah.
And then go.
Or else I wouldn't have asked you.
And then watch this right. Let's take it here. Let's take it here. So we talk about men and women are equal, right? Well, guess what? Men and men are not equal.
No.
I'm not equal to Pee Wee when it comes to photography.
Yeah.
You're not equal to me when it comes to lifting weights.
Right.
I'm not equal to you when it comes to certain knowledge and wisdom in certain areas and stuff like that. So we all understand that about each other.
Yeah.
So we're not equal. Nobody's equal. It depends on the person and where they're at. So we can't fluently make everybody equal.
Yeah.
There would be no such thing as second place and third place then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you too slow.
Yeah.
You're still running laps. The race over.
We're not giving out 6th place ribbons. We're not doing that.
You got 2
know
more
what I'm saying?
laps and it's over.
And watch this right here. Watch this right here. I'm gonna say this right here. Listen to this. I want you to listen to this. If everybody on the planet was equal, it would be a direct and an incredible indictment of anybody who has not succeeded. If everybody's equal, then it would be an indictment on the people who
Why
failed.
try? Why
No,
try?
no. Listen, that means that if everybody's equal, if one person succeeded, that means everybody else can. And if the people who didn't succeed and they have the same equal ability as the people who did, something's wrong with them.
Right.
Yeah.
So that shows you automatically that everybody's not equal.
That's true.
Yeah, we're not.
But men and women definitely are not.
And I'm gonna tell you
No,
why.
we're
I'm
not.
gonna tell you why. Watch this right here. What does this world run on? Power. And what gives us power? The ability and the propensity for violence. That's what power is. That's how the United States is the superpower of the world, because they have the strongest military. And they can enforce their dollar and trade in their dollar amongst all other countries.
And
So
you
the,
have to buy American dollars in order to
yes.
deal with us.
So because they have the superpower, because they have the biggest, largest military.
Right.
Now, so what makes a woman and a man difference is a man has a power over a woman because they're more physical than they are, and we have a worse capability of violence.
That's why the Bible says, deal with your woman according to knowledge.
Yes.
Right? He's not talking about you know that she is mouthy, so let it go on. That's not what the Bible's talking about. He's saying, understand you're stronger than her.
Mm-hmm.
Understand you're mentally tougher.
Mhm.
Understand you're physically tougher. So don't just run all over.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible.
But that's what males do.
He's saying don't dominate her in a way physically. Like don't beat on her, don't rape her. You know what I'm saying?
But see,
Like
that's the difference
that's what he
between a
meant.
man and a male.
Deal with her knowing she's a woman.
Mhm.
Like understand the differences between males and females and deal with her according to being a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, because y'all are mad vulnerable. If I decided to just jump on, like, if we're in a room by ourselves and I decide to just jump on Tiff and start beating on her,
Nobody.
nothing will happen. She will die. Like, and that's and no matter how strong she is for a woman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
our testosterone
Yeah.
makes us be able to tap into other powers.
We're built
like,
different.
Like,
We're built
yeah, it's this. It's
And then, watch this right here, Yodi. Watch this. It's 2:00 in the morning. Your phone dies. A woman. Phone dies. She's not driving. She can't call Uber. She has to walk.
Oh my God, I'm
listen.
scared about it.
And she's at Starbucks. They close. She has to go. She's scared,
I'm scared.
but she's not scared that she's gonna run into a pack of women.
Mm-hmm.
She's scared that she's gonna run into
Yeah,
a man.
yeah, fact, yeah.
See, but if it's me, I'll just walk home.
Right.
But guess what? If she's walking down the street by herself, and there's a man coming
I'll
her
cross
direction,
the
watch
street.
this here. Who's gonna be more afraid, him or her? She is.
I'm crossing the
He's not worried about her, but she's worried about him. And watch this right here.
So true.
In this world, it requires a man to check another man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what gives us the authority over women.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah,
if we decided to let y'all be equal and let be what it
Bygones
is,
be bygones.
there will be men out here that will take advantage of the fact that there's no men protecting women.
That's
Big
it.
facts.
That's so true, though.
And they wouldn't be filled, they wouldn't be in the jails. They'll be all out here doing whatever they wanted to
Ask
do.
a woman if her building's on fire and she has to jump out the second floor.
I don't want
does
a
she
woman
wanna
Who she
commit-
want? Tim coming?
Wait, what?
Wait, exactly.
Tim
Wait,
with the
what?
suit on?
Wait, what?
with the oxygen
No,
tank?
honestly, I would cry.
No,
if
I
see a
would
woman.
cry if I said
Nah, yeah, word.
If I have a problem and it's a woman cop that shows up or
I'm crying.
a woman firefighter, I'm gonna cry
Yeah.
because at this point I feel like I'm not about to live.
And it's not.
Because
It's
if
disrespectful.
he's beating me up, right? Let's say he's molly womping me,
He about to
right?
beat y'all both
He's
up.
wilding. He's like, yo, y'all come in this house. Y'all come in this house. And then I'm just like, and then it's a girl cop. She gonna be like, huh?
Is she gonna shoot me?
And then she's gonna shoot me. Right.
She gonna shoot me. She can't do nothing else. She can't do nothing else.
She has to up the force
Yeah,
because she
exactly.
can't beat
Exactly. She can't do nothing.
Right. She can't detain him. She can't stop
Can't do
him.
nothing.
So it's just, it's giving me
So,
hard
let me say
conversation.
But I want to clear that up. That's what the Bible means.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean understand your wife's flaws and deal with them.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
it means
yeah.
understand she's a woman and understand that hitting her will damage her. Understand that taking sex from her is not right. You know what I'm saying?
But
Doing all things to what you call victimize a woman because she's a woman
Yeah,
is wrong.
because you got power. Yeah.
And that's again, I said it, the difference between a male and a man. See, a man is a man because the responsibility, and one of the responsibilities is to protect. And he would never do something like that to any woman, because once you're a protector, once you're a father to all children.
Yo, even I don't work at a jail,
That's true, 'cause you're
but
a
if they find out that you're a pedophile
pedophile. Yeah.
or a woman beater or a rapist at my job, like they pack your stuff, they throw it outside, like they beat on you, like they deal with these men
It's
harshly.
inherent in us to protect the other species, other gender.
Is why we say, ladies, when we're mad, we shouldn't be yelling in their face, and we shouldn't be provoking them to wrath because we're smaller and we know they can't beat us up. We know they won't beat us up.
Yeah.
They can beat us up, but
That's
we know
like the
that they
equivalent of
won't.
Tim walking up to little Tim and bullying him.
Yeah,
It's not right. Like,
yeah,
and that's the equivalent of how we feel when y'all do that. Because it's
Mhm.
like, he's huge, 175 pounds, he said. If he goes to a man that's 175 pounds, but doesn't have the muscles he has, and he know he can beat him, to me, that's a sucker move to start yelling at that man.
Yeah.
so women are emotional bullies.
So it's a sucker move to do
Well,
that,
this-
knowing that he's not going to hit
Well,
you.
watch this right here.
Because if he talked to me like that, or we
Yeah,
family, but
Yeah.
if another gentleman talked to me a certain way, hey, I'm gonna let him know, yo, lower your
Yeah,
voice, man.
right.
Don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
And then
And then if he
that's
does it again, it's instant action. Like it's
Yeah.
there's no playing, there's no
Mm.
we getting into it. Like so, you know, we don't walk around disrespecting other men
Mhm.
because we understand the violence level that can come upon us like instantly.
Mhm.
So when I see another man, I respect him.
Mhm.
I lead with respect first, and so otherwise needed to do anything else.
Let me say this right here. So there's times that we're communicating with our wives, girlfriends, and sometimes we start to our voices
Just
start
get a
to
little.
Yeah,
It's all
scary.
excitement.
It's scary.
and that's like even in where we're talking now, that's what happens.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But then a woman will use that and go,
yelling at
stop yelling at
Being the tone police.
But
Yeah.
then the tone
The tone
oh my
police.
God. But watch this right here. But then
Why
they,
you gotta say it like
but then
that?
they'll
Yeah.
start yelling. And the difference between
Yeah.
when they listen to this, the difference between when a man yells at a woman and when a woman yells at a man, when a man is yelling, he's on 4.
Yeah.
When a woman is yelling, she's on 10 because that's the only thing she can do. She can't go no higher than yell.
Yeah.
This thing can go. I can flip a switch and go from 4 to 10, and my 10 and your 10 is totally different.
Totally different.
So why would a woman provoke a man and go all the way as far as she can go, and not expect him to go further? So when a man is yelling, he's still at 4. It's not a threat. But a woman
Feels like
can't.
it,
She it feels that way. But when a woman decides that she wants to get in his face and yell, she can't do nothing. She can't beat him. She can't do nothing else but provoke him to do something stupid. And so that is a bigger threat to him than him yelling at her.
Yeah, you kind of gotta like remove yourself from the situation. But I think that when women and that's just a thing too, because that happens with a lot of women. Like the guy raises voices at a 4, and then you raise your voice back, you're at a 10. That is literally the only thing that you can do. But I think that a lot of women feel like when the guy is saying that they're the protector, I also feel like men should be protecting you from the versions of themselves. Like if we're doing something wrong. Like if I'm yelling and you yell back, okay, but if I did something wrong and the yelling is first, I'm gonna be like, wait, what? Because I try not to do that with the kids. You get what I'm saying? Like if Rel does something wrong, I try to talk to him first. It's usually the 4th, 5th time that I'm like, okay, get your stuff. Like or whatever, the exasperation comes.
But then
like
Sometimes it's just passion though from the guy.
it's
No, it
passion,
is
but
a lot of
let's-
times,
But
I
let's just use your example right there.
Mhm.
You say something in Braille the first time, you don't nothing.
Right.
Second time, third, the 5th time, you yell. How do you know that this is not the 5th time?
It could be.
Because if we
This
say
one, it
something
could be
every
good.
time, we'll be a nagger.
Right.
And because
So
we don't
let some
communicate,
things
yeah, we
go
let a lot
for
of
it.
things
A
go.
lot.
That's why we're
Wow.
yelling.
So then finally it gets to the point where we finally have to say something, and then chances are you said something to her already.
Mhm.
Hey babe, such such such. Hey babe, such such such. Hey, da da da. And then after a while, now I'm saying it. Now I'm like, okay, this doesn't make sense.
Now she needs to understand.
And then it didn't work the first
How-
She
way.
needs
how
to understand how
detrimental it is.
important
Yes.
Yeah.
It didn't work
what
when
I'm
I said it
saying
nice.
is. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So we
But that's
have
why I
to
said
sometimes.
a lot of
Yeah.
times it's passion, because when we talk about passion, it's really because of what we're saying is super, super important.
Yeah.
I do that even when I'm on the phone talking about photography.
You
And
definitely
Tip be
do,
like,
'cause
you talking
be
mad
so
loud.
when I be on the phone with her.
Like,
I be like, what
I
you
talk
doing?
loud all the time when I'm passionate about something.
But that's the difference between men and women. And so a woman can't choose how a man communicates with her. She can say, hey, look, I prefer this, I prefer that. But the way you communicate is the way you communicate. There's some speakers that speak like monotone. They have no
That's
energy,
their-
they
that's
have
their
no
own-
nothing.
that's how they
Yeah,
do it.
but then there's some people like the hip hop preacher Eric, that dude,
That's
talks
how he
like that.
do
He has
it,
a
yeah.
bravado about what he does. So you can't really govern
think
how
about
somebody
it.
communicates.
There was one time where LaRonda, we went to a church in Bloomfield for Mother's Day, and Dwight Freeney was at the thing, so it was packed. You know, we got a park. Right, it was like a street like the Boston Post Road. It was crazy, like meow meow meow, like a highway almost. I get out. I always used to get out,
Get her out.
take LaRonda out, and then we both would get a kid. I forgot to put the child lock on for Petey. He was like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
He got out the car and was getting ready to bolt across the street. And a big ass truck was coming. Yo, the fucking deepness and scream that came out of me, and I said, Petey! And I swear he just was like, like, meow, like the truck damn near brushed his nose.
Mm-hmm.
I was like,
Yeah,
but understand, like, in certain situations, we gotta check you in that way. We have to. You have to understand the seriousness of what could go on. Like, honestly, sometimes, like, I'll watch your behavior. I'll be like, oh, that's gonna lead to that.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to stop this shit right here because it's gonna lead to that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like, that's how it goes sometimes. Like, sometimes you gotta do that.
I think what I'm hearing,
But it doesn't
saying
mean
is,
we don't love you or we're so mad that like,
Or we disrespecting.
Yeah,
Sometimes
like-
I think disrespect
So-
comes
but
with what
she-
you say, not how you
But
say.
she's saying some women may feel like you guys want to protect, but you also got to protect the woman that you're with when it comes to how you
Because
speak to her.
the sometimes
Yeah, but again, you
that.
can't govern how somebody communicates. That's another thing that women want.
But the problem that comes in the level of communication is that men are wanting to coach you, and I get that. So that's what I was
I
about
think
to
it's
say. is that
situational though.
Women are not necessarily that coachable, and unless you actually was in a sport as a girl, you don't really understand what being coached is, because being coached sometimes. The coach isn't always nice.
And the coach is yelling at you all
like
the
if
time.
I'm lifting weights, like sometimes I'll be lifting weights, right? And I'll be like, like trying to get the last minute, like get that shit, get it.
Yeah.
Like they
You're
just
gonna be like,
screaming.
nigga,
Like,
stop yelling at me.
But what I was
screaming.
trying to say was right. But what I was trying to say was, as far as like the women, it will cause when you're, I guess it's a mentality that when they're doing that to kind of translate it into that, because as a woman, when you're in a situation with the husband, I literally somebody inboxed me this literally a couple days ago, was like, yeah, but this is the issue that I'm having, is that he wants to exert himself so fervently, and it causes me to just shut down. And that is what happens in a lot of marriages, because some women will get brolic back and try to yell back. And then other women will just go and just not say anything. But then that sometimes is a problem too. Oh, so you don't got nothing to say? Actually, no, because if I do, I know that the way I'm feeling inside, the way my heart is racing, the way I'm feeling anxious, what I'm going to say is not going to come out
But
right.
you gotta
'Cause women
understand, if you
ain't
have a
good
good
with that.
man, that's God talking to you. Like,
Yeah, not only
that's
that,
God talking to you.
a woman-
Like, we get checked as well. Like, for instance, like, if you a good, I want to say a good guy, like, that's trying to do right out here.
Mhm.
When you do something that messes up something, or you do something like, you're the hardest on yourself than anybody else could be. You know, like if you fall off, or if let's say the lights get turned off and somebody come take your car. Oh no! Like, and you know you could have
This
prevented
comes
that,
into this
but you wanted to
question.
party or
Yeah.
whatever.
The therapy, because sometimes, so
You're gonna
okay.
be so hard on yourself. Like you don't like as men, we don't need what y'all need.
Right? No, we get that.
No,
That's
we
what
We
it
get
don't
is.
need that.
She's
Like
talking about
we
how
get
they talk.
ours straight
How
from.
they talk.
Oh, with the talking?
Yeah. She was just saying that you know, in light of like her and her husband, like it just causes her to like shut
Well,
down.
see,
Well, she got the power to change that too, to be honest.
We get ours straight from the Most High. Or a lot of men to get wisdom. Like we have older men or other men who check us too. Like if Pee Wee was out here wild and trust,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him and be like, yo, what are you doing?
Right.
Like what's going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like we check each other too.
So this is a segue to another question though. It says, how do you express your feelings and emotions to your wife or partner? So not necessarily just when she's doing something wrong, but is it normal? Do guys like y'all express your feelings and or what's going on to the wife or the partner? Like, is that something that some women feel like, you know, some guys don't really
Are guarded.
communicate well, or they're guarded, or you're trying to get the inside of them? But I'm not gonna say my opinion, but I'm gonna let y'all say yours. But they want to get like the inner workings of what's going on, and they feel like he might not be as communicative, so they feel shut out.
I think that depends on the female too.
The girl,
Mm-hmm.
Because again, questions.
yes. I
At the
also
right
think
time,
that
though.
some women, this is
Not
my
while he's
personal-
yelling.
No, not the time.
Why
But-
does it depend on the female? Like, what is the?
Because certain females can pull certain things out of guys.
Yeah, that's why we
Like
for instance.
I would say even like I used to tell Tip this all the time because I know I'm passionate and when I get excited I raise my voice.
Yeah.
Even if I don't
We
feel like
know.
I'm yelling, I
Yeah.
raise my voice. That's just how I am.
Right.
But I always tell Tip like, you get offended by that, but you actually have the power to get me down here.
To de-escalate.
You just got to know how to do that.
Got you.
You can't come up here with me because that's just gonna make me stay up here.
Yeah.
But if you like, I try it all the time when I'm in corrections.
Yeah.
If a dude is arguing, yelling, try whispering with a nigga arguing.
Yeah.
That
that's
nigga
what I
gonna bring
think,
his tone down
after
because he
a
can't hear what the
while,
hell you
right,
talking
you
about.
arguing by
Like,
yourself.
you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
That's why
eventually,
the Bible says a soft answer turns.
exactly, yo. I may not catch it right away, but the more you treat that softness, the more I'm gonna tone it
You
down.
gotta know how to massage that bear in them.
No, I'm just
You
saying.
got to. Because, like, for instance, I used to talk to mom way more than I talked to dad.
Yeah,
And mom
yeah.
was the one who talked me off the ledge many times.
Yeah.
It was mom, not dad.
Right.
But dad's the one who taught me structure, discipline, responsibility,
Yeah.
an example.
Right.
Like, he was the one who taught me, like, the baseline things of life.
Mhm.
But, like, when I wanted to talk about how I felt about something, it was mom.
Right.
Because women have that gift. Y'all have the gift to be able to listen and talk.
Yeah.
Listen,
Got you.
talk. Guys, we just be like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. You good? Yeah, you good? All right. What you been into? Yeah, this and that. Da, da, da. Conversation over.
Yeah, that right
With a
here
woman,
was
They
dry.
they bring another
Oh my God.
perspective. Like women ask different type of questions than a man would ask. They speak different. It's a softer landing spot for us, like to talk to.
And it turns us on if you know how to do that too, yo. I ain't gonna lie
For
to you.
real.
I'll be butt naked. You come home if you talk to me. Booty butt nigga.
Booty butt cheeks.
Let me give my perspective on this right here. When it comes to sharing with a woman, talking about feelings and stuff like that,
I don't feel like it needs to be done often, but
I just think that a man has to tread
like
softly, lightly on this.
Because some women, they gonna
Because
take that and run with it.
The
You
women
a soft nigga.
the women will take it the wrong way, but then also men, we can't find refuge in our wives. That's not where we're supposed to, because the only person who loves us the way we need to be loved unconditionally is our mother.
Yep.
That's when you have that relationship. You can't have that conversation with your wife that you have
At
with your
all.
mother.
At all.
And that's what I'm saying. So, but women have to understand that.
But
What
they're
the-
still the ones. Like, let's say I'm about to fight somebody,
Yeah.
and your wife comes up like, "Babe,
Yeah,
think about it."
but what
Like,
we're talking about is, if I'm reading the question right, is being able to share and communicate with a wife. You have
That's
to be
not a-
very careful on how you communicate with. Because watch this, there's a meme out.
Yeah.
The women go, "I found another ilk about a guy."
Yeah.
Like this
And
guy,
they say,
yeah,
yep.
like anything we
Right.
do that's not what they think is supposed to be, ilk.
Ew.
You see what I'm saying? So women change their view on us based on what we do. So when we're in a vulnerable state like that, we got to be very cautious in what we share, because we don't want to say the thing to our wife or show the thing to our wife for them to lose confidence in us.
That's what I was gonna say.
Faith in us.
Yeah.
That's important, because if I'm sitting here worried about something, have you ever seen me worried?
No, actually.
Have you ever seen me complain about something?
No, never.
The only time I talk to you about what's going on with me is after I solved it. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say that's what, and I was just gonna talk to the women. I think that we think, for a lot of women, we have these ideas that we think these are things we want from guys. And I feel like a guy being too vulnerable, a guy being too open when it comes to, babe, so I was at work and this guy, like, ew, that is an ew.
Yeah,
like,
that's
no,
a
I
big
don't want to know. So, like, when he comes to me and a lot of times when he talks to me, I don't even say a lot of things because I know for a fact I'm literally only a sounding board. He just needs to get it out. He needs to say it out loud. He needs to hear himself say it. And I'm just there as like a piece on the board, honestly. And it's usually not like, babe, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, well, I don't know what's going on. Because remember I said in the last podcast that as a woman, for me, because I had a dad, I'm always looking for the guy. I'm looking to the guy to have the answers. So I don't want no guy when something goes wrong. He's like, hey, what we supposed to do? Because now I told you, I got to get my picture, my thing with my clothes on, and I got to go because you don't have no answers. So I think that if we think that, hey, I know we want to be the vulnerable part, we want you guys to be vulnerable as it relates to us.
Yeah.
Not life.
Yeah.
Because if it's us, I don't care how vulnerable
That's
it is,
super
I would never
that's
throw that.
super.
It's super attractive
Yeah.
as it comes to us. But if you like, I don't know what's going on.
But even in that right there, you still have to be careful.
softly,
You
man.
still got to be careful.
I
We're
mean,
vulnerable.
that
Listen,
depends on
watch
the
your prayer. So
woman.
if,
That
so
depends
if a
on the
guy shares how, put it this way, if you tell a woman she's irreplaceable, she'll start acting accordingly. If you make it to where a woman,
Why do you think God made it to where guys can have more than one, but women have to stay with that man until he dies?
that's a good question.
Because women are the ones that's supposed to work it out. Like we're arguing right now because of you, not because of me.
Yeah.
If I raise my voice, that means I need to raise it, and you need to hush and listen. You're the reason we argue, not me. You're the one who's supposed to like solve the issue that we're doing, or pivot to where I'm pivoting,
Now,
to where I'm going.
now that is a hard
Pill
thing
to
to say.
swallow.
Yes.
'Cause
But let
he
me. I don't want to say
But
soften it
God
up,
made it
but I
that
wanna-
way
but I
so
wanna
that
say it in
you
a
have to
different way.
work it out with that man.
I want to say it in another way. If there's a problem in the relationship, the woman has the solution. I used to say to her all the time.
I agree with that.
I used to say it all the time. You have more control in this than you know. Because if you don't like something I'm doing, then there's something that you can do that I won't do those things.
Right.
If you don't like certain things, there's a move that it's a chessboard. There's a move on that board that you can do to make me look and say, oh, I got to do this now. So women have way more control in the situation. And the number one thing that they can do, again, is be teachable, listen, and just be quiet sometimes. And just try to figure it out. But see, a woman,
Listen to what he's saying,
yeah,
not how
not
he's
how
saying
he's
it.
saying it.
Or don't listen to the subtraction in the sentence. Look, you know what I'm saying?
And don't
If I
listen
say-
to respond.
If I say, you stopped doing this, you kind of fell off with this. Don't say, well, you just don't like me then.
Or
No, I'm telling you what the
or you saying a
problem
fact,
actually
or
is.
you saying, or come up with a whole nother conclusion.
Yeah, like if I say you look nice today, that don't mean you didn't look nice yesterday. Like it's always like a subtraction when it comes to, you got to look at us in good faith. You got to say like, all right, he's telling me this because he loved me. Like you have to always say that. Because like if this man went as far as to put his life, his finances, everything on the line for you legally with paperwork, that man loved you and don't plan on going nowhere.
But you know the problem with that statement right there, Yodi, that men will say things like, we put our lives on the line, but there's very few, far in between opportunities for us to do that. And so women, they don't become believers until it actually happens.
Yeah.
So it's almost like having
That's
car
why
insurance.
sometimes it turn them on to see you fight.
Yeah, it's almost like having car insurance. You don't appreciate it until you get into an accident. You think it's a bill until that you get that payday. They pay that whole car off, or you know it's they don't appreciate what we provide because it's not something that we need to provide on a
All
consistent
the
basis.
Mhm.
But what we do is we put them in situations that won't allow us to have to exercise those things.
Right.
By saying, hey, watch out for this.
We
watch
say
out for that.
Don't wear that. Wear this.
And our provision and our protection comes in
A
day.
lot of women say that. Don't be
Yes.
telling me what to wear. But listen, look.
But then when you
I
at the
wouldn't-
party and the guy slap you on the butt, and now you're fighting.
Now I gotta fight.
Yeah,
You got a $10,000.
yeah. Or you come home and some guy did this, and you expect the guy. Watch this right. You expect the guy to have control, to not do it. You think this world is so civilized.
It's
And
not.
that's the
it's
thing.
not.
We know. See again. Oh, I was gonna say this. I was thinking this earlier. Check this out. Remember when we were younger and we was in church and they talked about sin
Mhm.
and the evils of the world and don't be worldly. You never really understood what worldly was until you became a man and an adult and you see what's going on in the world. We were unaware of the evils in this world. We didn't know the capacity, what men were capable of.
How dark.
How dark
it can get.
It can get. And we've experienced those
Yeah.
thoughts in our heads as adults. So now, when we're talking to our women, we're talking to them with a perspective that we know the evils in these worlds.
Oh, yeah.
They don't. They don't understand it. They see it on TV, they see it in the movies, but it's not real to them.
Yeah, we know how dark a man's mind can get because ours went there at some point in
Absolutely.
time.
Absolutely.
It went there.
So our protection is protecting you from what we know the world is capable of. So a man is not going to have self-control around a beautiful woman because it's hard for us to have control of ourselves around pretty women. So I know a lesser man is not.
Right.
He's going to do something stupid.
Right.
And then you're going to expect.
And if
Me-
I'm movable and swayable, again, like I said last podcast, if you're movable and swayable in this relationship, what do you think happens when I go outside? When I go, I'm gonna be movable and swayable.
Mhm.
So like, be happy you have a man that's dogmatic and sticks to his guns and sticks to his morals and beliefs, because like, there's still a remnant of men who do that.
Mhm.
You
It
know,
ain't a lot, though.
it's not a lot, but there's a
Let's make
remnant
that hold
of
on
men
to it.
who only want one woman, who only want to just take care and elevate his family as far as he can get till he die. That's his goal. That's my goal. Is for my kids and for who I'm with to just keep elevate, get new stuff. They just got new cars today. I'm happy. Everybody clap it up. I'm saying reaching them goals. Feel me? But like, that's part of it. Like you know, a lot of people who drink every day, like they say, like, you know, what are you celebrating? Like why? Like we gotta learn to celebrate when we reach these higher goals, you know, and not just like all the time every day. That's why sometimes men like us can be boring. Because we'll set a goal. We'll set a goal for 2 years from now, and then we'll start today. So like, no, we're not gonna be going on vacations and partying and, you know, and spending money and because we're going over here. But once we get over here, we can party for a little while, and then I'm gonna set something else. I'm gonna set a new one. Like,
Yeah.
so we got a little time to party, a little time to congratulate ourselves, and then we're gonna head toward another one. You know what I mean? And that's who I am. Like, I can't help it but be that. I think sports taught me that. Dad taught me that. Like, even mom taught us that. Like, if you wanna work for a store, own it. Or if you wanna do this, own the business. Like, they taught us this at a young age.
Yeah.
And like, that's why I feel like I'm below the curve because I work for somebody. Like, my goal is to not work for nobody,
Right.
or my kids to not work for nobody.
Right.
Even if I gotta work for somebody, because my grandfather worked for a white man, my dad worked for a white man, now I'm working for a white man. That's no progress to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my goal is to get my sons to not work for no white man. Like, and no disrespect to everybody, but
Or a black man, or an Asian man, or a wonton suit man, or a...
any man, work for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, own the business. Do what you gotta do. Own the business. You know.
So I'm gonna do this as our last question. What are some
Well,
things?
no, it really wasn't.
It's not, but it's 8 something, and ain't you trying to go to K-pop?
Yeah.
What are some things that your wife can do that would make you feel appreciated or loved?
Voice it.
Say it.
Say it.
I appreciate it.
Say it.
See, for me, it's not.
Words of words for me. Words of
Oh,
affirmation is huge for me. Words of affirmation is huge for me, and you actually expressing it through actions, like the way you treat me will let me know that I'm doing something right.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're a little standoffish, you're not paying me no mind, you just on the phone with your girls all day, every day, like, you know what I'm saying? Those are signs to me that, nigga, you ain't doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I
Me,
mean?
it's action. Me, it's like you have to think about somebody to cook for them. You got to be thinking about it. Like, I want my family to eat, like, or to do that, or to do the laundry. You got to be thinking about your kids and your husband to do these things. Like, I know you would do it if you're single, obviously, but like
Yes. I think.
constantly, like, because we both work, we're both busy, we're both. But
Yeah.
you take time out of your day to do those. Make sure my clothes are fresh. Make sure, like, I'm fed. Make sure I'm sexed. Make sure I'm like, those things. That's what shows me appreciation. Because you can say it all day.
Right.
Yeah, you gotta have both.
You can say it all
actions
day.
too.
To me, words mean nothing, like, at all. You can say it, cool, thank you, but if you just, because like 9 times out of 10, you'll watch your wife get up on time, go to work,
Right.
put on her necessary clothing and garb to go to work, do whatever her boss, if the boss sent a memo, we doing it this way, she not gonna argue, she gonna look at that memo and do it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like, do the same for me. Like,
Right.
I'm trying to get us to the same place your boss is trying to get his business. So like, why am I less qualified? Because I'm, you know what I mean? Like, what makes me less qualified? Because we're having sex. Like, I don't understand.
So I'm busting them cheeks.
Yeah, because you get your cheeks busted. Like, but what makes me less qualified?
Should be more qualified.
Yeah,
Especially
like,
when
I done got all up.
There you go.
I done dug all up in your soul. So like, why you not listening to me? Like,
no sense.
you got a little me. Look at him. He look just like me.
You love him.
What's going on here? Like, so just prioritize me is what shows me appreciation. Like, you could do all of it, work, but if you make sure I'm good, no matter what's going on, then I'm cool. I'll keep fighting out there, and you do what you're doing here.
I think that's both ways too. When you say prioritize me, I think because actual men, like we was talking about since the beginning, being the protector and the provider, we're technically doing the same thing. You know what I'm saying? We worry more about you than we worry about ourselves.
Yeah, because
Technically.
even while we're at work, like, coming up with these goals and plans, like, it's not for just us. You know what I mean? You're gonna benefit greatly. So
Yeah. I hear you. You didn't do it.
What was the question again?
How,
Particular.
what are some things that your wife can do that would make you feel appreciated or loved?
Let me just say this right here. It's probably gonna twist it a little bit. If anybody asks somebody, why do they love you? And if the answer starts with because, it's not real love. If you say because, that means that if you take that, whatever comes after that away, they don't love you.
Yep.
I don't think a woman is capable
No.
of loving
No.
the way we love.
No, exactly.
I think I am.
Exactly. But watch this right here. So, what makes me feel appreciated is when my wife loves me without cause. When she loves me without explanation. When she can't explain why
That's
she
me.
loves me. I agree. You know what I'm saying? She can't explain. Like, I don't know what it is.
Right.
But whatever it is,
You
it
get
is.
them last
Like, because that means that
But
if
I
you
love
love
you,
me
though.
because of the way I treat you, when I
So
stop
when I stop
treating
treating you
you,
that way,
then you don't love me no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
If you
conditional.
love me because of what I do for you, when I can't do it, then you don't love me anymore.
Conditional.
You see what I'm saying?
Conditional.
So I need to. What makes me feel appreciated is to love me without explanation.
Good. That's really good. I like that a lot. Well,
Yeah.
y'all,
But I don't really think a woman can love the way a man can. Like,
okay.
I believe a woman is in love with the way she feels.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah.
But even in that,
I
So,
don't
like,
think that.
A lot of women
Yeah.
are based off of feelings.
So,
I don't
like,
think that.
if you make them
she
feel a
loves,
certain way,
I don't
she
always
loves the
feel
way
that
you
at
make
all.
her feel.
yeah.
So
That's some
if
women.
you're making her feel such and such, then it's such and such. That is what it is. But I'm gonna keep it short.
Yeah, that's true. That's some women.
I agree that only women and children have love unconditional. Men do not get that type of love. We're loved based on what we provide, what we do for women, what we provide,
How we make them
how
feel.
we make them feel. You know, but
So that's why it's
In that-
easy for them to move on.
in that, I still have to be able to make you feel that my presence should make you feel.
Yeah.
The moment talking junk over there.
All right. So, y'all, we thank you for listening. We are going to have to chop and screw this one because we're going to have to take clips from other phones and bring it to the beginning. For those of you who catch the replay, we were probably about 4 or 5 minutes in before the sound checks in. So, unfortunately, but we'll put it together and then I'll repost it. But we thank you all for watching Sipping with Siblings Deluxe Edition. We got Samak, we got Eddie Daniels, aka Pee Wee, we got TW, we got Tonisha LaVonne and Tiffany Daniels. Thank y'all so much for watching, and we'll check y'all out soon for the next one. Bye.
Oh, sorry.